And it was for my good. Only God can do the things that work for my good. It was.
Welcome, and we are back with another awesome interview. I'm so excited about tonight. How about you?
I'm thrilled.
I know, right? I'm really excited. We are back, and we are Katrice and Elaine with interviews from T.H.S.A. Records, and we are glad that you are here with us tonight. We are excited about our guests, but you know we got some announcements first. So we got to get those out of the way so when the conversation starts, we can just keep it rolling.
Keep it moving.
So next week, y'all know what it is. Everybody knows what next week is.
Come on, sis.
November the 5th is election. Vote. I'm not really politically, I don't get into all of that, who you voting for and everything. All I know is there was some people a long time ago that did what was necessary for me to be able to vote.
Come on.
I am going to honor them, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to cast my vote because it does matter. It matters.
It
and don't
really
let nobody
does.
tell you nothing different. Please cast your vote. Get on out to the polls.
Those
of you who may need a ride, I said this last week on the show, and if you're watching the replay, I have a friend who has a transportation company, A&P Transportation. Flyer on my personal page, and they are offering free rides to the polls. So if you need a ride and you're in the South Jersey area, go to my page, and all you got to do is scan the QR code on the flyer, and make sure you give them enough time to let them know that you need a ride to the polls. And they are shutting down their business on November the 5th in order to give people free rides to the polls.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really great of him.
Is.
And so there's no excuse for you to get on out there and get to the polls. All right. Last week we told you about Jesus Says was released last week. Was it 2 weeks ago that we did their virtual release?
It was just last week.
Was it just last week? Oh wow, that was so cool. Yeah. So Jesus Says was released on October 25th, this past Friday, by Mark Wanzer, one of our artists. Yep, it dropped. It dropped. So go get it. Go stream it. Go download it.
Yes.
And support. We appreciate it.
Congratulations again to him. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Mark, for just obeying God and doing what he is telling you to do. He has a wonderful gift.
Great cover.
Thanks. Next up, you want to talk about this one?
Hey, you singers out there, all of you singers, anybody that, if you're singing in your church choir and you just want to do something a little different, we are a part of Tomar Cares, and he only has 3 events a year. 3. And this is the last one for the year. It's November 23rd. You come out. His church is New Light Ministries. It's on Cuyahoga Street in Philadelphia. You come out at 1:00. We rehearse. We go and have, there's going to be something to eat this time. We're going to have something to eat. Yay. And then it's the concert. So it's all in one day. It's not all like running back and forth. Everything, it's all in one day. It's all self-contained. There's a parking lot. It's wonderful. Yeah. So, and Tomar is just absolutely incredible. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. He's always giving back to the community. All the proceeds goes back into the community because that's just his heart. That's the person that he is. And I'm so grateful to God that Katrice and I are associated with him.
Yeah.
So if you sing, come on, be a part of it.
Come on out and just join the community.
Yep. We'll make sure you get the music ahead of time so that you can be prepared. So you're not like on your feet learning it at the rehearsal. But I need to know.
You need to know. So you can inbox me, myself, or Elaine, and we'll make sure you get the correct information. Yeah, find us on Facebook or Instagram.
Absolutely.
All right. Then we have up next is our next interview was going to be with I just met this brother this year at UMAC. What anointed worshiper. When I tell you the first couple lines when we were learning his song, I couldn't even sit in the chair. I was up.
Wasn't it?
I was up. Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing. And so Steve Warren is his name, and he'll be our guest on November the 19th, I believe it is.
Yes.
Next
I don't know why your screen is acting up like last time.
I know. I'm gonna go back out.
Oh, you can see it? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's November. You can hear me though, right?
Absolutely. You're clear as a bell.
I don't know. It's November the 19th. We'll be back with our interviews, and it's going to be with Steve Warren. So mark your calendars. We're off for 2 weeks. Next week is the election, and the week after that, we got a break. But then we'll be back on the 19th with Steve Warren.
Excellent.
You can talk about Tina's coming up release.
Oh, so coming up, we have the incredible Tina guitar. I tell you, but next to Katrice, no one else is putting out as much music as Tina guitar. And let me tell you, she's an incredible guitarist. She's an incredible writer, and she's an incredible, just incredible person altogether. Her latest single is going to drop, I'll Run to You. And it just talks about a love that she had, and it came, and it was like a long lost love. And now she is writing about it and singing about it. And we cannot wait for this to drop. So you want to be able to get this single, I'll Run to You by Tina Guitar. She's incredible. And we're looking forward to it. What is the exact date for the drop?
Tina's dropping on November 15th.
Right. Because I remember
November 15th.
I know a couple of them we had pushed out, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to give her some running time to promote it. So
Great.
November 15th, she'll be out on all digital platforms, and don't forget to go get it because she's a phenomenal artist. She makes that guitar talk.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't remember if she has a guitar solo on this song. I'll run.
She does. This is actually a ballad.
Right. I know I listened to it, but I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go back and listen to it again because I love when she does the
Me too.
solo.
Yeah, me too. I think that's all of our announcements. Unless you got something, did I forget anything? Oh, y'all know Pastor Vincent Praise released his song. We did his virtual release last week with Mark Wanzer. So tune in. Let us know you're here. And if you're watching, and so we can give you a shout out to all our viewers. I see people coming on, but nobody's saying hey. But say hey.
What do you have going on?
Nothing.
I've got.
What do you have going on?
I've got this Sunday, November 3rd, is Pastor Bubby Fan's 4th anniversary.
Why don't I have that flyer? Why don't I have that flyer? I don't know why I don't have that flyer.
Wow. Well, he just kind of dropped that flyer. He's something.
He does that.
So I am the psalmist for the anniversary. It's a 10 a.m. service. And Pastor Albert Morgan, the Reverend Doctor, he will be bringing the word. So we're going to have a good time. So
I don't have much coming up. I'm just doing this.
I can't wait for the props. Hey, Pastor Vincent.
Hey, Pastor Vincent, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. We was just giving you a shout out about your new release.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really don't have much going on. Just trying to buckle down and get these releases out so that these artists can get their music out there on time. But that's about it.
And we have meetings.
And meetings, lots of meetings coming up. We got some new artists we're looking at and all those types of things. But that's about it. And I just actually did praise and worship for First Baptist Jericho here. Pastor Derek Gatlin. I just did the praise and worship for them about last week before. No, last week when I was hoarse. I sang there. And then I just completely lost my voice after that. It was just gone. But I know what it is. It's them allergies, Elaine. Because when I'm in the house, I'm okay. As soon as I go outside, that ragweed is not my friend. As soon as I go outside, I have a problem. But I refuse to walk around with a mask. God's going to deliver me from these allergies.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. And we just have to keep pumping ourselves with our vitamins, folks. Don't give up on the D. Don't give up on the vitamin D. Don't give up on the zinc. Just keep pumping yourself with vitamin C.
Yeah, I doubled up on my vitamin C, like you told me, and it did help. Yeah.
I've suffered all my life with allergies.
Yeah, and then the amazing thing is when you go to sing, people are like, "Oh my God, you sounded great," and you're up there on that stage struggling because it's hard to sing through that stuff.
I think so hard. But and I've never been one to get the big head because I'm afraid to get the big head. So because I know how God works, you will be horrible and you will be flat and you won't have no power. Okay.
Right.
So I just surrender and I'm like, God, I know you got this because you hear this talking voice. And then I'm amazed when he allows the voice to sing. And I'm like, it's incredible. I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful.
You actually use a different part of your vocal cords to talk and to sing.
True.
So it's just like a different part. And you can learn to sing through that. But people be like,
it's not fun.
You just did it easy. Okay. When I get home, I am wore out after that, or like when the mics are not really good and you got to sing, or like if the acoustics aren't good in a building where you're singing, the best thing I've ever done is those old Methodist churches, because I grew up United Methodist. and they have the high wood cathedral ceilings.
Yes.
You can stand anywhere in those buildings and just sing,
So
and it just
beautiful.
fills
It
the
just,
whole room.
yes, it does. It's
Mhm.
awesome. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
they great acoustics. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
but nowadays, they started putting the drop ceilings in churches and all of those kind of things. So it's more like a theater type of setting, and it's
Yeah.
the carpet on the floor.
It
All of that
takes
stuff
away.
sucks up the sound.
It sucks up the sound.
Yep.
So right.
Yeah. Yep. So, but without further ado, I
Let's
told
go.
you we're excited, and so we're going to have a great conversation tonight with our friend and sister Deanna Ransom. Hi. Everybody's all grinning and everything. Like,
I know, we're so excited. Well, you know what? No disrespect to the men, but it has been a long running list of men we've been interviewing, and to have a sister on here.
Yes.
Let's break it up.
Yes.
Break it up.
Yes. So how are you?
I am wonderful, and even better now that I am chatting with y'all. How are you?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
What state are you in? Are you
today?
Yeah.
Today I'm in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, we just came out of the Spin Awards, which took place in Atlanta, so I'm still here.
I saw the pics. Yeah.
So tell us about that since you brought it up, and then we'll just have the conversation, just keep flowing.
Well, since I just brought it up.
Yes.
The Spin Awards were phenomenal. Shout out to Minstrel Appointed, who is the host of the show. Just the broadcasters, the radio angels that were there. Some of the ones we know from our area, Robin on the Radio, Liz Black. There were so many that were there. I don't want to start naming names and get in no trouble. I don't want to slight nobody.
Right.
But it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Yes.
Wow.
Awesome. So you're a native of New Jersey.
Yes, I am a South Jersey. Get it right.
Yes.
Native of New Jersey. Very proud. Very proud.
Yeah. So when did you start singing though?
I just had a publicist say, don't be talking about when you was 3 years old, but
it happened when it happened.
I did start when my family, probably like most folks in church or with their family, and that's how I got started. They wouldn't let me join them in the group. I was the unwanted one, but finally, I finally was able to make it to the group. After some hardship, God had to send some locusts.
Yeah. We were so young when my family had the family group, and we grew up in Baltimore, and my family, I actually talk about it in my book. They were called the C&G singers because their names all ended with a C or a G.
I love it.
The family name was a G, and then my mom and my aunt and them just happened to marry men with last names of C. Isn't that crazy? And so
I didn't know that.
So that's how we got. But I remember sitting on the steps, looking through the railings, wishing I could sing with them. I mean, I was little, really little, because they would rehearse at my house because my dad was the musician. So I know how you feel when the family don't let.
Man, listen, didn't nobody want no parts of me. The Heavenly Children.
Elaine, what happened? Come back.
We lost Elaine. She's like, I should be back, I hope.
Yeah.
But the Heavenly Children was comprised of, my siblings and some cousins and a couple of family friends. And so my mother named us the Heavenly Children because it was like, always stay humble before God. And so,
yeah.
You know how it was back then.
Why in the I love it, in the Black culture, the steps have such significance. Like with my nieces and nephews, they sat going up and down the steps because they were little people and they were seen and not heard.
That's
and
right.
We were the ones that were always singing, and then they started singing. So then we kind of invited them down the steps because they sounded really, really good.
Yeah.
But the steps have such a significance, of peering and looking and wanting to be a part of something greater.
It was. I used to watch them, watch
Hey,
them
Tina.
sing, and even to the point where they finally let me in the group.
Okay.
And I was young, so they still made me wear a separate dress. Remember when you used to have a uniform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when groups had like the
Right.
uniform
Yeah.
kind of look? So because just to earmark the fact that this baby is out here, I had to wear a separate little girl dress. Listen, with a heel that had them soles. You remember them rubber soles? You remember them?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get no kitty heel or nothing. I had one of them rubber soles to earmark that I was the youngest. Yeah, they did
You
that.
killing them now. You killing them now because you are. Come on.
Yes, you are. You are
Every
doing
time
the
I
thing.
see
That's
Deanna,
probably
she
why
is
I
a
do it.
fashionista.
That's probably why I wear heels to this day. Because I was
Today.
not allowed. Yes, them patent leather shoes. Y'all remember them? I had a pair in white and in black with the
Yes,
little
we
Yep.
all
balls.
I
did.
remember. Yes. Yes.
Real.
Yes.
We all
When
did.
when did you realize that you were a songwriter?
Wow. I officially wrote what was supposed to be my first song when I was about 12. That was the one that I was able to get the group to sing. It was real
Okay.
simple, right? Nothing was published or copywritten or,
Yeah.
just a little
Yeah.
girl writing words because that's what we did. We were in church all
You
the time.
remember
Is
it?
it me? She's frozen.
It was something about stealing away because it was related to my grandmother's favorite. She used to
Oh,
love Steal Away. I
Spiritual.
haven't got long
Yeah.
to, so it was like a play on that song.
gotcha.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. But that's how we did it. Hmm.
Yeah. So did y'all collaborate together a lot, songwriting, or you just happened to write that song?
So if I recall correctly, we were not in the Heavenly Children trying to do a lot of original music. You remember back
Gotcha.
then,
Mhm.
you sang everybody else's stuff, right?
Right.
It
Yes.
wasn't, it might not have been on the radio. It may not, there certainly was stream nothing. I'm not
Yes.
going to tell my age, so I'm not going to say nothing else.
But
But
it's okay.
We
We probably
understand.
old. We probably older than you, so we
We
get it.
are.
you understand what I'm trying not to say.
Yes.
We did a lot of, so there are eras. We
Mhm.
did Dorothy Love Coates, the Dixie Hummingbirds,
Oh, nice.
and Shirley Caesar James Cleveland.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we had a new era. And the new era became, man, when the Hawkins family, the
Hawkins,
Crouch,
Andre
Yeah.
Crouch.
Andre Crouch came out. That's when I was like, okay, now I'm with y'all. Now
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
exactly right. That's how it was.
That's
Yeah.
how it was.
I was intrigued by Benny Cummings out of New York, um, Thomas Whitfield.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, just
Yeah.
like I'm like, this is real music. What's wrong with people? This is the real deal.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
music that didn't just have the musicality that was amazing, because it was. I mean, when you think of the way they arranged the melodies and such, but the lyrics, the
The
Yes.
words,
lyrics.
and it was the kind of thing that reached in,
Yeah.
and it could, if it didn't change your heart, it could certainly shift your thinking and change your mind.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
which a lot of times is missing today in gospel
Mm.
music. I talked about that on a show we just had not too long ago. Oh no, I talked about that in the songwriting class I did at the workshop
Yes.
last month, because it's just crazy how they're saying it is gospel, but there's no talk of Jesus, the Lord, King of Kings, how good he is. None of
The
that.
most holy God, how
None
holy
of that. Like
Yeah.
barely mentioning them at all,
Yes.
and but it's gospel music and they put it in that genre. And I was talking about that as far as distributing our music. One of the things that I think is important to change the way people think about gospel music is that when we upload our music, not only don't just stick it in the gospel category, because it might not. Gospel is a type of music, just like R&B and worship and all of that, all of those
Right.
types of things are a type of music. Put your music in the category that it belongs in, and someone who doesn't know the Lord is going to hear it, you know, and they're going to be like, they're going to hit it because it said R&B and or because of the title, but they don't really understand the anointing that's on it. And that's how we're going to infiltrate the entertainment, the music industry, because if they want to just, when we first started doing music, they just wanted to stick us everything. Everybody was gospel, whether that was your flavor or not. You were just a gospel artist. And that was one of the things that I think held back a lot of artists when we first started coming out, because I'm not gospel. Like, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the conversation that we always have is we're okay with it being timeless, like the Thomas Whitfields and the James Clevelands.
Yes.
We're okay with it being timeless, that no matter at any time you could pull that and that song still hits, still does what it's supposed to do, still got oil on it. Okay.
Oil for me. Yes. Yeah,
Amen,
that is
Tina. Yes, it is the oil, and it
oil
doesn't matter.
versus formula.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. That's good. Say that again, Deanna.
Come on.
Say that again.
You know, her resume, you know, she does preach too. You know, her resume.
I know, right? I know, right?
You know,
a lot of times folks are looking, and I have to say the disclaimer, right? I'm not trying to offend anybody.
No.
But in the music industry, because gospel is a segment of the music industry at large, right? And so under the umbrella of gospel, then you have subgenres under gospel, right? You have choir, you have contemporary, you have rhythm and praise, you have all these different subgenres, gospel hip hop, holy hip hop. You have all these subgenres under there. What's happening is, I love music. So all your subgenres, or the way you want to bring forth what God has given you, that's great. But you said something which is key. Many times folks write and craft according to the formula for radio play. Right? So in that radio play, you've got 3, maybe 4 minutes max. And so you've got to write the formula. Now, this is where we gotta in business be men, but we also need to understand the purpose why we do what we do, right? So if you give me 4 minutes, I'm giving you 4 minutes of oil, Jesus, and it's still going to sound good, hook you. We have to be crafty in how we are making sure that we're delivering the gospel and still able to operate within the context of the business, because the goal is we've got to reach the people.
Amen.
So that oil versus formula, if you have to if you got to pick one, go for oil.
Go for the oil. Go for the oil every single time. Every single time.
Amen.
And don't be afraid of that, because only what you do for Christ will last. And when he opens those doors for you, it doesn't matter who doesn't like it. No one can close them.
Yes.
No one can close them.
Say it
because
again.
God did it. God did it. You know, there's a difference in you trying to please a producer or a radio personality or whatever, and you trying to please God. When God does that thing, nobody can take it away from you.
That's right.
So let God do it. Use the oil. Do what God is telling you to do always, and that's the motto of our label.
Yeah.
I don't want your music to be nothing other than what God gave you.
We are not going to be watered down. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Just said it.
Not at all.
And when you really think about it, how do I say this? We forget we are drawing directly from the source. So we become the model that others ought to seek. To the sound, we have access to the creator. We don't have to be an imitator, right? But oftentimes we're trying, or many times I hear folks trying to mimic sounds of others versus embracing the sound that God has given you, or the way that, you know, and it takes if I could say this, it takes courage and resilience and trust to be and deliver your authentic self, your authentic voice God has given you. But I
Right.
think that's the thing that makes it so you'll stand out. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
put in the work. You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to take the time and go through the process. But the process ought to be about more oil coming out, more
Yeah.
like him coming out, right?
Yeah.
More of his glory being
That's good.
revealed,
That's
right?
good.
As we
Yeah.
keep going forward. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When you sing in the studio, is it better for you there or you like it better live?
Y'all should call Pastor Fan so he could tell you about that last studio.
She's go ahead. That's a good question, and I know why she asked it. Go ahead.
So if I had a preference, and even with this single, we're preparing to do a live release, a live album.
Mhm.
That ought to answer your question. I love live better. When I'm in the
Mhm.
studio and I love my and a lot of times they're getting something out of you.
Yeah,
Capture it. So I want to give balance. So, everything can't be a squall. Everything
right.
can't be right. And so they're really helping to craft and put something together. But there's something about being live and connecting
Yeah.
with God and the people,
People.
Yeah.
and once you get that unity, that one accord, and you get
Mm,
that God. So y'all know, I started off a worship leader. I'm a worshiper.
yeah.
So that's why I'll jump into a hymn, I'll go into worship, like, and I grew up singing a cappella, which is why it's like I don't care about no music. Hold up,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. Ooh, that thing was good.
but it's about, I like live because there's something about the experience. That's what I call the
Yeah.
encounter and the experience.
Yes.
And yeah, you might end up in a squall. You might end up, with going a little off key when it's just a little bit, right? But I prefer that. But I know the purpose of the studio. And sometimes we are architecting
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that we can reach the masses,
Tina
right?
says she likes live too. I know,
Yeah, that
right?
live is it.
I'm
Hi,
I'm
Adele. Thanks for
I'm the
tuning
live
in, and
girl. I
thanks for
like live.
sharing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I when I first started working in the studio, I don't even know, it just came natural. Like it just was,
Katrice is good. I
it was
struggle.
just natural to be in there. I didn't I tried to make sure one of my thing is one and done. Like I'm not that one. Like I'm not trying to do it over and over and over again. We're gonna get it right. I practiced a lot before I went in there. I try to be sure of what I want to do in my mind, but in in it all, it's like I want it to be when somebody's listening to it like I was live. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want them to feel like they were,
Like they're there.
yeah, like I'm there. So that's what's in my mind when I'm in the studio. Because it is intimidating. Like I never liked to hear my voice on recording. Remember back in the day
Really?
when we used to, no,
Mm-mm.
when we
Nope.
Not
when
the
we used to
tape
have to
recorder.
record, when we had to record and listen to ourselves back on.
That's
Dang,
how I
Look,
am.
I know, right?
That's how
that
I
Yeah,
am.
part.
That voice, I'm not a fan. Like I
yeah,
don't like to listen to it, you know. I
yeah.
mean,
In the
sometimes it's
studio,
good.
when I'm recording, I actually refer to that girl,
No,
right?
okay.
I'm like, she this, she's sharp. She need to do that again, right? Because
Yeah,
I asked Bubby, he was like, "Who you talking about?"
I'm I'm taking that. I'm taking that.
yeah,
I'm
Right?
yeah.
taking that.
Because it's so what's the word? It's a mirror. Like it's so real. Like this is what your voice sounds like,
It
and you're like, oh my
really
god, I
is.
just said that. I just called my producer Donnell. I texted him that earlier the week. I said I got 2 songs that I want to put out, and it's like a double project, and I said, I need to come back in and do those leads over. I've been listening to
It's very real. I'm gonna tell a story. I'm not shooting nothing, no shade at nobody. Many moons ago, I took a young lady because she wanted to record. I want to do this, I want to do backgrounds, and I was her mentor. What I was trying to tell her was, there's a big difference between when you singing in church and everybody go ahead, child. Y'all's fat.
Come on, baby.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
And I'm like, when you get in that studio, it's going to be different. Didn't want to hear me. I got, you know how folk don't want to listen. And I'm like, listen, the producer is going to be able to give you feedback and you may not be able to go in there. Took this young lady, into the studio, and man, the producer is texting me, how you flat and sharp at the phone
at the same time?
You can't. Right. But when you're accustomed to go ahead, right? And you think that studio will tell on you.
Yes, it will. Yes,
it will show you.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody there but you, the microphone, and the engineer, the producer. When you're in church, like you said earlier, like a lot of times just your spirit, you know what I mean? Just how you display the song will allow people to get with you, whether you sound good or not, you know.
Wow,
and
she said it.
It's just the way it is, you know. They just people will do it because they feel like, especially if you're sincere, you know, you can be sincere and not be able to sing.
Yes, you can. And there's all kinds of, to your point, you can be sincere and your delivery be connected.
Yes.
And listen, and that's called, there were sometimes, I'm a student of music, so I love Billie Holiday, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she would hit those flats, but they felt so good.
Good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes a bad note can actually feel good in the moment, that if you fixed it, it would change the experience.
It was part of the emotion. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
That's right.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so
now,
true.
I'm not saying don't practice. I'm not saying don't do your scales. I'm not saying saying, don't do what you need to do. But I am saying that there is a bigger picture in the delivery. And architecting of the song. Yeah.
It is.
My brother calls it the it factor. You know, sometimes when you have the it factor, you can do those things like you said, like the Billie Holidays, and having those different nuances and different kind of things, and it works. But if you not ready,
they just can't all be bad. They just can't all.
They just can't all be bad. Like every now and then, they just can't be all bad.
How did we get here?
That's good. This is great. This is great. So, when you became, you are a music director too, like in church and stuff like that, right?
I was over. Typically, I was over the worship, the music ministry. I do direct. I do write. And I can. So on a lot of my former projects, I did all my own backgrounds. So I teach all the harmonies. Yeah, all those crazy Yeah, that was. I couldn't find nobody to do the intricacies, so it's like I just had to do it. Yes.
Sometimes it's good to do your own backgrounds, especially if it's a song where you know what it's supposed to feel like, and sometimes it's hard to display that to someone else who is going to sing it with you. To get that.
And if you're doing complex harmonies that move a lot, and you need those things to be
in the right place.
Yeah.
Placement is key in the studio. They need to be in the right place. Yeah. I get that. One of
And
the
blend
reasons,
it. It's the blend too.
the
Because you
blend.
can have two people and they're doing the right notes, but it doesn't have it's not blended.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Tina said, yes,
the
that's perfect.
sloppy, but good. Yes.
That's a perfect example. Yo,
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Yeah.
yo, yo, yeah. So so tell us a little bit about what you are working on now before we
So,
talk about what you just released.
so right now, what we're working on is the rest of the project. Right. We have to.
So you're putting out a full project.
We are gearing up
Good.
to do
Because
a.
most nowadays people are just dropping singles, you know.
Singles.
But
There's a business. So y'all know I'm all about the business as well as the ministerial piece.
yeah, absolutely.
On the business side, dropping a single makes sense, particularly to build momentum
Yeah.
and connect and test the what, right? You really want to,
Right.
get people primed because
Hmm.
there's a lot of music out there.
Yes.
There's a lot of music, a lot of really amazing artists. And
Yeah.
so getting a single that people can say lock in and identify and connect
Hmm.
with you as an artist, and then they're like, oh, I want some more,
Yep.
right? Now you can come back, and depending on what your strategy is, if it's, a waterfall strategy of I'm gonna drop another single, breadcrumb, keep them coming,
Yep.
and then release a full project, or how you want to do that. There's all kinds of business approaches to looking at what the response to something was that can be an indicator to what you do next. So that's just the business perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were telling us what you were working on now. Hey, hey, Mr. Henry, how are you? Love you
Only
back.
God. Oh, he said only God is blessing him. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Yes.
I'm
So
sorry.
what do you,
I just saw him in Dallas, so I'm like, yes.
yeah, that's what's up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
he be getting around to his new project is amazing as
It's
well.
Yeah.
amazing. They
Yeah.
sang in Dallas. Man, I mean, but
Pieces.
that IMS was something else. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. So when you are working in a church, right? And you're the music director or whatever, and you're putting the choir together, do you do tryouts? How do you find your singers for
Oh,
your
she's
worship
trying to get me
team
in trouble.
opposed to your
Workers.
singers for your choir? How do you organize that?
Did it get hot?
I'm asking these questions. The Holy Spirit is downloading them. Somebody needs to know what to do. So just tell them.
Well, there's a few different perspectives. Number one, it depends on the ministry that I'm in, right? Because some of the direction I have to take from the pastor, right?
Absolutely.
Some of the ministries are large enough where you can procure and do tryouts. Some of the
Hmm.
ministries that I've been at have not been as large. You got to work with what you got. But
Yeah.
one of the most important things that I look for from a choir perspective is, hey, can you hold the note? You know,
Hmm.
Yeah.
if the choir is large enough, you can, if they're willing and they have good energy, you can kind of blend them in, but make sure the microphone is pointed
Right.
the other way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know what
You know what I'm saying?
we know what you say.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, all the Jesus. So, in a choir, you can do it a little differently, right?
Mhm.
Because some people want to sing, and I think choirs, with no disrespect, because there's some choirs out there, good night.
Yeah,
Whoo, you know what I
yeah.
mean? But it can give you a fuller sound and doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily take away from the quality if every voice in the choir isn't, you know what
Perfect.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Yep.
Perfect. So I
Mhm.
do look at it that way. Believe it or not, when building praise and worship, one of the most, like a praise and worship team, one of the most essential things that I look for is the heart and the life.
Mhm.
And I do a lot of teaching um, as being over the music ministry about the walk and the life of the believer. You need to understand the purpose of your song. You need to understand that you send Judah first. And that's not just praising. We have a job. We set the
Yes.
tone and the atmosphere, and we dig into, how our hearts have to be right.
Yeah.
How can you bring me to Christ? You ain't been to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So,
Amen.
I do a lot of work on both aspects, the spiritual as
Yeah.
well as the music,
Hmm.
because you want that oil. You want a worship team that can get you directly to the throne,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
People
That's
come
good.
in and they're distracted, they're heavy, life is life in,
Mhm.
all the different things. We have a job. We really remove the barrier
Mhm.
to being
Mhm.
able to connect to God. I'm very serious about that.
Yeah.
I teach workshops on that. I've written content on that because anything you don't know the purpose of, you will mess up.
You
Yeah.
will mess up.
It's more than singing.
You'll be a
It's
tinkling
so much
brass and a
more.
sounding cymbal. I
Yep.
have
Yes.
met some amazing. Now, this is Deanna in the other capacity as worship leader. You can sing your face off, but if your heart
Heart is far
and
from
your
God.
attitude and you coming in like
That
Showtime at the
posture.
Apollo, and
Yeah.
it's like, this ain't about you, boo boo. This is about Christ.
Right.
How if you need to be able to have a walk in a worship that you have access to him and that you have the anointing to be able to bring others
Yeah.
before his presence.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I do a lot of the teaching of digging into the heart and the lifestyle and the posture, right,
Mhm.
of being a true praise and worshiper, and
Absolutely.
in order to impact others. So yeah, I do it different, a little different for the choir. I'm not saying that if you're in the choir, you
Absolutely.
don't know God. That's not what I'm saying, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But vocally, you have a little more flex in a
Mhm.
choir because you can give it a fuller sound without diminishing quality.
Yes.
But when you have less voices, you kind of need to really be a little more
You have to tighten up.
selective,
Yeah.
Yeah.
tighten up and selective.
Yeah.
Um, but I will take someone with the heart of God and the will to worship
That's
above
it.
somebody who can do runs, and you can run me under the seat, but you ain't took me to God yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry, guys.
good.
No, it's
No,
the
that's
truth.
good. That's the truth.
Right.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the absolute truth.
And
Yeah.
they don't ever plan to get to God. They just
And I
want to keep
also
doing runs.
and I also teach about the difference between authentic worship and emotionalism,
Yeah. That's
Ooh,
good. That's
right?
good.
that's good.
Because in music, we do talk about emoting a song, right?
Hmm.
I mean, that's not a gospel thing or Jesus thing. That
It
is
is
the
just, it's a
ability.
music thing
It's a
because music
delivery, right?
pulls on your emotions.
So you
Yes.
can connect and deliver the song with the right emotion for that song, right? So you can
Right.
emote the song. But one of the things that I really like to dig in on for some folks is understanding the difference between the move of the spirit and emotion,
Hmm.
because everything, including your emotions, need to be subject to the will of God.
Absolutely.
And crying, "Ah!" that doesn't necessarily mean that God is in that. So have you really taken the time to consecrate yourself, to present your body a living sacrifice,
Yes.
to really be able, watch this, to bear the weight of the glory?
Mm.
That is so good. That is so good. That
Right?
is so
I may
good.
not cry when I sing, but I can tell sometimes when that weight of Christ is on
Is
you.
on
It's
you.
not about the emotions. It's not about,
Hmm.
so we have to learn not to get emotionally tricked,
Yep.
right? And miss the connection and encounter with God.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. That's so good. That is really good.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a more of a technical question. Do you prefer one of each voice part and a lead on your worship team, or two of each voice part and a lead?
I prefer two. People get sick. People have sore throats. We got these allergies. That postnasal drip will tear you
It's
up.
real.
You know what I mean?
It's real.
I prefer two because it takes some of the strain, off of, all the voices, or if
Yeah.
someone, I prefer to.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
That's just,
Yeah.
how.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you do songwriting sessions with your teams?
So I'm gonna tell a story.
Okay.
When it comes to songwriting, I have been told by multiple amazing producers that my process is backwards. Right? It is. In their book, it is backwards. So
what's your what's your process? Yes, you started it. You
Is
brought
it?
it up.
Well, wait. Is it secret sauce, or you can say what it is?
no,
Okay.
part of the way I write, believe it or not, is I can hear it. I can hear all the parts, all the melody, all the music. I don't play, but I can hear it all. I hear all the parts. Oh, I want this to do this. I want this change here. I hear it. And so what I'll do is I'll record. I can record all the
Parts.
vocals without
Yeah.
music, with the sitting there like get the time and record it all, and then go to the producer who's looking at me like, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. And some of the things you're doing theoretically, so there's music theory,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, theoretically it don't work, but some kind of way I'm like, yeah, that gumbo work, don't it? We all like that gumbo work. So
Yeah.
this is where, and I've learned and grown by some of the amazing producers like Herb Middleton, Donald Robinson.
I work with Donald.
You talking about creme de la creme, who literally were like, okay, Deanna, you know what I mean? We're gonna do that this way. So if y'all get a chance and you want to go hear gumbo, go back to some of the bigger ones and go listen to I Am Healed, which I did that night.
Okay.
That was one I sat and I wrote it all out and I heard all the parts and recorded it. And Herb was like, just give it to me.
Right.
Listen to You Rain, Bryant Pugh, who was he was he worked with me on that, and I was like, Brian, I'm hearing. He said, don't you tell me what you're hearing. I already know what you're hearing, right? All I got to do is listen to you sing, and I already know what you hear, right? But when I say nailed it, so now you're talking about really hearing a sound, getting a sound, and putting it together. And it doesn't mean that what I hear is the final, because we only know in part.
Yeah.
So other people have the other part, right? That's why I don't play, because if I played, man,
something else.
I'd be terrible. I'd be like, no, I got this. But he makes sure we only have part.
Yeah, because you need someone else.
But I do, when it comes to songwriting, talk about the messaging. Make there's another song we did called The Real Me. I did that one with Donald as well, and you really get into how you want to articulate a message in a non-traditional way, but still has a lot of power and purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we're coming up on the end of the show, and the reason why we are here is to listen to Deanna's latest single, Only God. I'm in love with the album cover. I'm a denim girl. I love jeans. If I could wear jeans all the time, I would. Jeans. Give me jeans. Denim. I'm a denim girl. So when I saw
that
the album
almost was
cover,
not the album cover, right? There's a whole
I
story
was
of
in love with it.
I got rebuked.
Right.
Pastor Fan and some of the other men of God in my life
Hey, Pat, how are you?
That's my sister. She's saying hello. Sing, Deanna. That was sitting
I
next to me.
absolutely love your album cover.
I'm so glad you love it. Thank you for the feedback. Honestly, if you knew the backstory, thank you for saying that. It means it was the right decision. And Bishop Ashley, Pastor Fan, and Apostle Jerkins, thank you for looking out for a girl.
Yes, I absolutely loved it. Yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing. So
I just want to say, Katrice, you know, if you get a chance, everybody out there listening, please go and read the incredible bio of Deanna Ransom. The wisdom that she dropped tonight is unbelievable and unmatched. This is someone that has her own businesses. She's a CEO. She has won a ridiculous amount of awards, which she definitely deserved. And she continues to win awards. She's been on TBN. She's been on 700 Club. She is just, she is. She may not think she is, but she is. And what I love is that she's sweet, she's humble, and she's one of those ones that you could just walk up to and just give her some love and a hug, and she appreciates it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, y'all. Without further ado, we're going to listen to the new single by Deanna Ransom, the renowned Deanna, Only God.
And it was for my good. Only God can do the things that work for my good. It was only God, and it was for my good. Only God can do the things that work for my good. I didn't understand the things you had in mind. Never could imagine that it would bring me to such a brand new world and a brand new life. I know that it was only you. Your plans for me, they always will prevail. Never will your word return to you void. So now I rest in you, because it's best for me. I know that it was only you. It was only God. Oh, only you. It was for my good. You make the difference. Only God can do the things that work. Things that work for my good. Oh, only. It was only God. All your plans that work for me. It's for my good. Only God can and will. Only God can do the things that work. Things that work for my good. I didn't understand the things you had in mind. Never could imagine that it would bring me to such a brand new world and a brand new life. I know that it was only you. Your plans for me, they always will prevail. Never will your word return to your void. So now I rest in you, because it's best for me. I know that it was only you. It's only God. Only you. It's for my good. Made me better. Only God can do the things that work. Things that work for my good. Oh, it's only God. It's for my good. Make me like your God. Only God can do the things that Everything's working. Everything's working. Everything's working for my good. Everything's working. Everything's working. Everything's working. Everything's working. Everything's working. Oh, 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 everything's working. Your word is working. Everything's working. Your plans are working. Everything's working. It's all for my good. Your will is working. It's working on all. Yeah, yeah. Nothing's there. Nothing's ever for my good. Everything's gonna work for my good.
Yeah. Yeah. Pastor Vince said he over there dancing.
Yes, dance, Pastor Vince.
All right.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love, we talked about this before, Katrice. I love hearing this in the car. But only thing is, it makes you speed.
Oh,
Yeah.
not that heavy foot.
I mean, because you're just so into it. It's like, wait a minute. Let's do the speed limit.
Yes.
It's just so
Amazing.
good. It's so good.
It is so good, Deanna. We
Thank
appreciate you being on the show tonight. Thank you for sharing your ministry with us and everything that you got going on. Those of you who never met her before, you can go follow Deanna on IG and TikTok at Deanna Ransom. She also has a website. What's your website?
DeannaRansom.com. I keep it simple.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
DeannaRansom.com. Yep. And most importantly, we're here to support. So make sure you download the single Only God on all digital outlets. Do it today. Go do it right now. You just heard it. You know it's worth being in your playlist.
Yes.
So go get it right now.
Yes.
Don't even wait. But yeah, it's so amazing. So what we like to do is we like for our guests to leave our audience with some tidbits or some kind of nuggets, something that you think would last with them that they could take away.
You know, that is something I can do, especially as everyone seems to have their eyes on the chaos with, the vote coming up. We tell people go vote, but there are people who are not feeling good about what they need to do, and they're distracted by what the outcome could be and all of those things. So if there was a tidbit that I could offer for the vote and beyond, it would be never take your eyes off of God or your faith out of him. No matter who is sitting in a chair,
Perfect.
It is he that sits upon the circles of the earth. It is he that reigns sovereign. And if you don't know him, if you get to know him, you will have peace regardless of who is sitting in the chair. And if you do know him, then you will be able to have and speak peace to those who do not, regardless of who is sitting in the chair. So that is what I offer in this moment.
Thank you so much. I received that. Thank you so much. Awesome word.
Amen.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you for being such a great audience and for actually supporting us tonight. We will not be back next week because it's election day. So I'm going to be praying and I'm going to be fasting. I'm going to be doing all of that kind of stuff so that God's will, his perfect will be done in the earth. Amen. And so that way you can have, you prayed about it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And hey, Elder Gloria, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, and so we'll be back on November the 19th with Steve Warren. And you do not want to miss it. I forget the name of the song he sent us, but you don't want to miss it. Awesome man of God, excellent writer, worshiper. And like Deanna said, pray about it, go vote, and just put your faith, keep your eye on Jesus. We love you. See you next time. Grace and peace.
Thank you.
Love you all.